So we've covered Pokemon Vietnamese Crystal and Pokemon Yellow on NES, but it's time to get ready for a real turd in the Pokemon bootleg library, Pokemon Gold on NES. You know how I said NES Yellow seemed like a labor of love because there was a lot of heart and soul put into the game? Well, the creators of this one definitely didn't put any heart into NES Gold version. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much. I love you all. Thank you so much. Alright, let's fucking play this piece of shit. Oh my god. This is gonna be one of those games. This title screen is horrible. First of all, the music is just plain gross. It sounds terrible, and there's this random high-pitched squeak randomly inserted in the song at one point. But even beyond the music, what's going on here? Wooper is pink, Suicune is ripped right from the Crystal version intro, the sky is the skyline from Gold version's title screen, the ground is the sea floor from Silver version's title screen. The best part of this whole thing is Pichu, and even he's looking a little off. Believe it or not, it actually gets worse from here. So unlike the Pokemon Yellow on NES bootleg, NES Gold tries to accurately recreate the setting of Pokemon Gold right down to the last pixel. And to that end, it somewhat succeeds. Aside from the Chinese text, most of the graphics have been ripped right from the actual Gold version, with some sprites actually coming from the original Red, Blue, and Yellow versions. Oddly enough, included with the Gen 1 sprites is the player sprite, which is just Trainer Red. Why not use the Trainer sprite for Trainer Gold? It's almost the exact same sprite, but the hat is flipped around. Let's start with some positives. I, again, chose Cyndaquil, and for what it's worth, the status screen image of Cyndaquil looks very good. New Barktown's layout is generally correct, with some things missing or just messed up, like how your rival's not looking through the window, or there's no water on the eastern side, and the presence of, Trainer Blue just in this house over here. Actually, speaking of that, Trainer Blue is seen pretty much everywhere in NES Gold. Here he is on the first route. Here he is in Cherry Grove. Here's two of them in the store. What is this? Some kind of nightmare? Is this a glitch in the Matrix? Is this game actually an allegory for the film series The Matrix starring Keanu Reeves with Trainer Blue playing the role of Hugo Weaving's character Agent Smith?
Mr. Anderson.
The contextual running seen in NES Yellow makes a return, but it's even more finicky here, being essentially random. While we're on the topic of running and walking, when your character steps on the tall grass, it's literally that. You walk on top of the tall grass, not into it. I guess NES Gold rendered the grass as part of the floor tiles instead of as an in-world object that can be interacted with by the player. As for Cherry Grove, the town is, again, recreated fairly well, but the Pokemon Center and the shop are reversed for some reason. No idea why that is, they just are, I guess. This is pretty much where the positives and even the neutral things come to an end. NES Gold is really hard to look at for a prolonged period of time. The green is overpowering because it's everywhere, and the screen has a lot of overscan or something on the left-hand side. When it's not the greens, it's the neon pinks and blues. And they're still green! Characters occasionally walk on top of text boxes sometimes get cut off by the screen, NPCs move so slowly, even in pre-scripted cutscenes. The music is like taking a steak knife to the cochlea. Like, seriously, every single piece of music is like your ears are being assaulted. The sound is terrible, and the loops are short, so what little quote-unquote music there is begins grating on your nerves very quickly. This is especially true of the battle music. Oh god, this is horrible. Whose idea was it to have a 20-second loop of frenetic music that almost quite literally batters you from the word go? The sound effects aren't much better either. They actually remind me of the sound effects from Galaxian, which is probably the worst thing anyone has ever said about Galaxian. Oh, and also if you hold down the button, it prolongs the sound effect forever. As for how it plays, well, battles are probably the best part of the whole game, and even those are lacking. For some reason, your rival, who, surprise, is played by Trainer Blue, by the way, picked a Pokemon that is weak to your Pokemon of choice. Power points work differently as well. Instead of moves having different limited uses each, your Pokemon each have a pool of power points, and each move has a different cost that drains from that pool. So this top move doesn't have 5 PP. It costs 5 PP. This bottom move costs 15 PP, which would be the entirety of my PP reserve, and when you run out of PP, you don't have the move struggle, which means you have to wait until the weekend so many Pokemon eventually takes you out and sends you back to the goddamn Pokemon Center! Fuck this! There are no battle animations, the text and actions happen automatically and scroll far too quickly for you to read, there's no feedback when you do or get anything, and just like that, the battle is over.
That's how every battle goes. You might as well be playing a choose-your-own-adventure novel. At least that wouldn't make your ears bleed. To my knowledge, there's no wild Pokemon either, which sucks because that means you can't catch any wild Pokemon. But the good news about that is you don't have to go through the crappy battle system again. And you know your game is bad when you've taken what inherently makes Pokemon fun and turned it into something that people dread.
Even little things are somehow messed up. You can't open the menu with the start button. It's actually the select button. From what I could figure out, you don't actually use the start button at all in-game. Why? Why would you change that? There's no reason for that. Within the menu itself, let me ask you something. Which of these options is save? I only know a few random words and phrases in Mandarin and Cantonese, so I can't really navigate this game the way it was intended. But by process of elimination, I'm sure we can figure it out. The top option is the Pokédex. Alright, good enough. It even kind of looks like the Gen 2 Pokédex layout, so good on them. Option 2 is your party. Again, reasonable enough. Option 3 is your bag, which even has pockets the way Pokemon Gold has pockets. That's pretty nice. 4 is your Pokegear. No save option here. There's not even the phone option here, which is actually a feature of the Pokegear, but whatever. 5 is the trainer menu. I've personally never understood this menu even in the actual games, because there should just be a box on the pause menu that denotes how much money you have on it at any given point, but I guess seeing badges you've won is kind of cool. And option 6 is close menu. So there's no save feature at all in this game.
There's no password system either, which leads me to think one of two things. Either you have to complete the whole thing in one clean run, which is insane, or this isn't a complete recreation of Gold version, which is most likely the case. The absence of water on the eastern side of New Barktown means there's probably not a Kanto region, but I wouldn't be surprised if this piece of crap didn't even have the entire Johto region.
Also, for some reason, NPC trainers automatically target you for battle, which means you can't skip a single trainer battle at all in the entire game. Actually, I'm not entirely sure if it's the entire game, but it's certainly every trainer at the beginning of the game. There are even NPCs that weren't trainers in Gold version that are trainers in NES Gold, which really sucks when you consider how annoying it is to be in battle. The quote-unquote artistic differences in the game are also kind of annoying, unlike in Pokemon Yellow where they are actually sensible and therefore charming. For example, in Bellsprout Tower, everyone is using Slowpoke, and the final guy has a Stantler, which I guess is okay, but they don't appear until later in the game before Ecruteak City. Here's the Violet City Gym, which if you remember is a flying-type gym. So clearly the trainers have Raticate and Beedrill! Alright, cool. The Bug-type gym leader at least has his Bug-type Pokemon. I'm sure he'll even have his Scythe- Motherfuck! Okay, I guess you were just gonna screw with me after all.
Why? Why would you do that? Why would you bootleg Pokemon Gold version and then fundamentally change the identity of the characters in the game? And if you were gonna do that, why would you still call it Pokemon Gold version? Call it something else, name it after another soft or precious or rare metal. Don't call it Pokemon Gold version, call it Pokemon Palladium or something. Because this is not Gold version.
There's no catching Pokemon, no wild Pokemon, no familiar Pokemon music, no animation, no real gameplay, no familiar characters, no evolving as far as I went into the game. No save feature, no password system, missing mechanics, missing areas, messed up colors, screwed up exploration, stilted Pokemon battles, broken features like how you sometimes don't get experience points for no reason. Areas that are recycled constantly, copy-pasted sprites over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Broken Pokemon battles, and ultimately none of what makes Pokemon great as a whole, or even in part.
That sentiment is ultimately what defines Pokemon Gold on NES. It's a game that misses the point. We don't love Pokemon because of the layout of the towns. We love it because we love catching Pokemon, getting into Pokemon battles. We love exploration, the joy of discovery, the wonderment of adventure. And that's ultimately what sets NES Gold apart from something like Pokemon Yellow on NES, where NES Yellow preserved the core values of Pokemon, but added, changed, and updated certain things in order to reinstill that sense of joy and discovery. Pokemon Gold on NES is just a goddamn mess.
Even Trainer Blue had enough. He's like, smell you later, and then, whoop, he's going. Hold on. Wait, hold on. He's going. He's thinking about going at the very least. And... okay, there he goes. Fantastic.